Hello everyone. So how you all are? I hope you all are fine. So in last session we have seen if else statement, switch statement, and then go to statement break and continue statement. These all. Now let's move ahead with this. So today we will be seeing C++ references. Okay. Today we'll be seeing C++ references. So let's dive into it. Okay. So C++ references. So what are C++ references? So references, a reference variable is a reference to an existing variable. मतलब अगर हम किसी एक एग्जिस्टिंग वेरिएबल का रेफरेंस ले रहे हैं तो उसे हम C++ रेफरेंसेस बोलते हैं एंड इट इज क्रिएटेड विथ एंड ऑपरेटर. तो हम इसे एंड ऑपरेटर के साथ क्रिएट करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, सपोज मैंने एक स्ट्रिंग टाइप वेरिएबल बनाया, स्ट्रिंग ram equals to name. Okay, this is my first variable. Now I am taking the reference of string and of Shyam which is equals to ram. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि ये तो हमारा नॉर्मल वेरिएबल है और ये हमारा हुआ रेफरेंस वेरिएबल. तो नॉर्मल वेरिएबल और रेफरेंस वेरिएबल. नाउ जब हम ये करेंगे सी आउट, जब हम करेंगे सी आउट ampersand, this symbol is known as ampersand of ram. Now what it will print? It will print the address of ram. It will print the address of ram. So let's take an example. Okay, so we did this in last class, so let's go ahead. So let's create a variable string name equals to ram and then string, okay, shym Shyam ampersand shym Shyam is equals to name. Okay, so let's print C out ampersand of name. What it will be? Let's run it. Dot slash a dot exe. So this, see, it printed some hexadecimal values. So this is the address of name. The name variable is stored in our memory location at this address. Okay, now to Shyam we are telling Shyam address, we are assigning Shyam to name, means let's print here Shyam first, then we will be seeing what it's Shyam Shyam. Let's execute it. Now run, execute it. So see ram, it printed ram because Shyam is also pointing the same location as the ram name is pointing. So it that location what is stored ram, so it is also printing the ram. Now I want to change. Okay, here name equals to AccelPrep. Okay, so now again let's print C out Shyam. Let's execute it. Sorry, run it. Execute it. See, again it's printed AccelPrep only because at the location of name which change the variable value is AccelPrep. Now this Shyam is also located to the same location. So what is the variable name, variable value? It is AccelPrep. So it's printed the AccelPrep. I hope it is clear to you all. So let's move towards the another topic, which is functions. C C++ functions. Now what are functions? So functions is a group of statements that together form a task. मतलब हमारे पास कुछ बहुत सारी ग्रुप ऑफ स्टेटमेंट होगी जो पूरा मिला के किसी टास्क को परफॉर्म करती है. टास्क वन. वैसे ही कोई एक और ग्रुप ऑफ स्टेटमेंट्स होगी तो ये पूरा मिला के किसी टास्क टू को करती है. Okay, so in every C++ program, at least one function, which is main function. As I in basic syntax, I told you the main. This main is a function. So this is a function. This main performs some task, some statements, right? So it performs these statements. Okay. So together this is called a task. Task, which is a main function here. At least one function will be there in every C++ program. So we divide up our code into सेपरेट फंक्शंस. हम अपने कोड को डिफरेंट डिफरेंट फंक्शंस में डिवाइड कर देते हैं. हाउ यू डिवाइड अप योर कोड among different functions is up to you. Means you want to perform a specific task like addition, you created another function. For multiplication you created another function. For division you have created another function, and for subtraction you have created another functions. Or you can do, you have created a same function which perform first addition then subtraction, and another function that perform first multiplication then division. This is up to you. This is what you have to do. You have to think. So according to you, you can do. Now what is the syntax of the function? Syntax is, first we write the return type, then we write function name, then in braces we write parameters list. Okay, and then these curly braces, in curly braces we write some body which we execute. Okay, so this is functions declaration, and this part is definition. So remember this. Now let's move away one by one. Let's understand each and everything. Okay. Okay, wait. Okay. So let's see one by one. What is return type? So a function may return a value. मतलब we are running some functions. Like suppose we have given a two variables a and b to a function, and we want a function to give the sum of those variables. Means that function is giving us something, right? If the function is giving us something, then we use the return type. So the return type is the data type, like what type of data you want from the function, that is the return type. So this is a data type which function wants to return. This is the data type. Okay, so some function perform the desired operations without returning a value. Like you have something like you have created a print function that print something. Okay, so if you are printing something, you are not getting anything, right, in the function. So this is called, the function will deserve don't return any value. For those functions we have return type equals to void, which is a keyword, as we've seen it before. So when function don't want to return anything, Okay, so this is all about return type. Now let's see what is function name. So this is the actual name of the function. Okay, the name of that particular function. Like if you want to perform that specific task, then you will be calling a function, right? मतलब आप किसी फंक्शन को बोलोगे, किसी चीज को बोलोगे कि आओ ये वाला टास्क परफॉर्म करो, तो उसका कोई नाम तो होगा, तो वही नाम, उसी को हम फंक्शन नेम बोलते हैं. द फंक्शन नेम एंड द पैरामीटर लिस्ट टुगेदर कंस्टिट्यूट द फंक्शन सिग्नेचर. दिस इज द होल signature of the function. Okay, now the another thing we have is parameters. Okay, so a parameter is like a placeholder. Okay, you have used HTML in 9th 10th. Okay, there you have seen placeholders. Okay, when a function is invoked, when you up when you pass a value to the parameter. Okay, this value is referred to as actual parameter or argument. The parameter list refers to the type, order, and number of parameters of the function. Parameters are optional. That is, a function may contain a parameter or not. Suppose you want to give input something like to perform some specific task, you need some values. तो वो हम कैसे पास करेंगे? लाइक किसी टास्क को परफॉर्म करने के लिए हमें कुछ वैल्यूज चाहिए होगा, वो हमें पास करना होगा. तो वो हम कैसे पास करेंगे? तो वो हम पास करते हैं पैरामीटर्स के फॉर्म के अंदर. ओके, सो हम पैरामीटर्स पास करते हैं, उस फॉर्म में हमें वो मिलता है. ओके, सो नाउ let's write one more. We have body, function body. What is this? The function body contain a collection of statements that define what the function do. So it define what the function does. Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, so now let's see type function. So in types of function, we have two types. First is user defined function, and second is library function. Now user defined are user or customer defined blocks of code specifically customized to reduce the complexity of big programs. Like जो प्रोग्राम लिख रहा है वही अगर कोई फंक्शन डिफाइन कर रहा है तो उसे हम बोलते हैं यूजर डिफाइंड फंक्शन. लाइब्रेरी फंक्शंस क्या हुआ कि एक अलग से लाइब्रेरी, उसमें बहुत सारे फंक्शंस है वो, फॉर एग्जांपल मिन फंक्शन, मैक्स फंक्शन वगैरह. ओके, नाउ देयर कम्स, दिस इज द टाइप्स ऑफ फंक्शंस. आई होप इट इज क्लियर टू यू ऑल. फॉर एग्जांपल min, max, these are library function, and user define the function those want to define according to him. Now the function declaration. I already told you how you declare a function. So function declaration will be return type, then function name, func name, then parameter list. Okay, this is how we declare a function. Okay, so let's go. How we can call a function? We declare a function, now we need to call a function. Sure. Declared function are not executed. As you know, we have declared a function, then the functions will not be executed because our execution start from main function only. So they are saved for later use, but and will be executed later. But to call a function, we have to follow some syntax, which is function name, then parenthesis. In the parenthesis, there will be parameter. list. Okay, in this way we call a function. Okay, so why we need function? The question comes that why we need function. We can write the code in one function only. Why we need the functions? So it helps us to reduce redundancy. Code redundancy. What does code redundancy means? Code redundancy means if something is repeating again and again, like 2 or 3 statements, ऐसी 2 और 3 statements जो बार बार रिपीट हो रहा है, तो हम उन्हें एक फंक्शन के रूप में बना देते हैं ताकि वो स्टेटमेंट्स हमें बार बार लिखना ना पड़े. दूसरा, it makes code more modular. Third, it provide abstraction. Okay. Now function argument. So the function argument are the parameters passed to a function. We have seen parameters list. So the parameters passed to a function are called actual parameter. For example, in the program below, 5 and 10 are actual parameter. So I will show you the example after some time. Okay. The example, and the parameters received by the function are called formal parameter. द जो हम पास करते हैं वो हमारे एक्चुअल पैरामीटर होते हैं, जो हम फंक्शन को रिसीव होता है वो हमारे फॉर्मल पैरामीटर क्या होते हैं. ये दो है, इन दोनों की डेफिनेशन हम अच्छे से देखेंगे. ओके, नाउ हाउ टू पास अ फंक्शन. देयर आर टू वेज, पास बाय वैल्यू एंड पास बाय रेफरेंस. हम दो तरीके से फंक्शंस पास कर सकते हैं, पास बाय वैल्यू, पास बाय रेफरेंस. ओके, सो पास बाय वैल्यू हम एक एक करके दोनों मेथड देखते हैं. ओके, so let's see pass by value. In pass by value, in this passing method, value of actual parameter are copied to the function's formal parameters, and the two types of parameters are stored in different memory location. Okay, first I am telling you the definition, then I will show you practically. In this, what happened in pass by value, values of actual parameter are copied to the function's formal parameter, and the two types of parameters are stored in different memory location. Whereas in pass by reference, both actual and formal parameters refer to the same location. So let's have some example for it, when only we can understand. Okay, so let me define one function, sum function. Okay, int sum. This is how we define the declare the function. First is return type, which is int. Then I am taking the parameters list, int a I want to take, and then int b. Two integer types variables I am taking. Then I am defining the definition that return. Oh, sorry. First let's write int c equals to a plus b. Now I have defined the integer type variable c, so I can return. How to return? We have this return c. This c variable it will return from the function. Okay, so this is my function definition. This is function de declaration. Okay, now this below part is function definition. Okay, so this is function's definition. Now we have declared a function. Now function definition. Now how to call a function? Let's have two variable int x equals to 10, int y equals to 20. Okay, so I am calling a function int sum equals to, oh sorry, sum nahi, int answer equals to sum of. This is how we call a function, and we have to pass the parameters as well. So we have to pass two variables a and b. two data parameters we have to pass. So I'm passing x comma y. This x will be referred by a and this y will be referred by b. So first let's see what are actual parameters and what are formal parameters. So these x and y, the parameters passed when we call a function are actual parameter. So x and y are actual parameter. Okay, and here a and b are formal parameter. Now we've seen the definition actual parameter and the formal parameter. Okay, so now the third thing that we see, how to pass the values. There are two ways: pass by value and pass by reference. The way we pass the values here is passed by value. We just given the value x and y here and we get the results. Okay, this is how we pass data in the form of pass by value. Okay, now what will happen here? I will show you what changes we did here. Let me do one thing. Let's print here cout x, okay, and y, okay, and in this what I am doing, after calculating the sum, I am changing the value of a as b and b as a. Okay, so let's see whether we get the changes here as well. If we are changing the value of a to b and b to a, that means not b to a to b. First let me store it in some temporary variable. Int temp equals to a temp. तो हमने क्या किया, a को b की वैल्यू दे दी और b को a दे दिया जो कि टेम्प में स्टोर था. ओके, तो क्या हुआ, मान लो यहां पे मैंने क्या किया, मैंने दो वैल्यूज पास करी a और b. मैंने सपोज a है 10 और b है 20, तो मैंने क्या किया, a को दे दिया 20 और b को दे दिया 10. उस फंक्शन के अंदर मैंने स्विच कर दिया. ओके, सो लेट्स सी, अगर हमने ये फंक्शन में स्विच किया तो क्या ये बाहर भी स्विच हो रहा है? चलो देखते हैं. तो बाहर भी क्या होना चाहिए था, x20 एंड y10. तो पहले मैं x प्रिंट कर रहा हूं. सो चलो रन करते हैं इसको. लेट्स रन इट. तो देखो 10 एंड 20 ही प्रिंट हुआ. मतलब मैंने उस फंक्शन के अंदर जो भी चेंजेस किए वो बाहर रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि हमने इसको पास किया पास बाय वैल्यू. तो यहां पे क्या हुआ, सो हियर formal parameters and actual parameters are having different memory location. ओके, सो यहां पे क्या है, here formal parameter and actual parameter are having different memory location. Now let's pass it by reference. So what I'll be doing, I will be taking them as reference. So I will be using ampersand here. Now let's see. Now let's run. Just simple thing I did, I add the ampersand sign there. Pass the values by reference. Now see, the values also changed 20 and 10 because we switch inside, इसलिए ये बाहर भी changes हो गए. So what happened here? So in pass by reference, the value of in pass by reference, formal and actual meters are having same memory locations. So I hope it is clear to you all what does the pass by value and pass by reference means. Okay, so this is how we understand the thing. Okay, I hope it is clear to you all. Now see, it is printing 10 also. So this perform a specific task The task is we are swapping the value. Swapping means, what does swapping means? यहाँ पे हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हम वैल्यू को स्वैप कर रहे हैं. स्वैप मतलब ए को बी दे रहे हैं और बी को ए दे रहे हैं, ये वाली चीज. सी स्वैप कर दिया हमने वैल्यूज को. स्वैप किया, साथ में दोनों का एडिशन भी किया. हम दो टास्क साथ में परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं. मैं भी यही टास्क में बार बार काम लू, इसलिए मैं एक फंक्शन डिफाइन कर दिया. एंड दिस इज हाउ द फंक्शन रिटर्न्स द वैल्यूज एज वेल. आई यूज रिटर्न सी, so it returning the sum of both value. What is C here? Let me show you the C. C is A plus B. Okay. So this is how we calculate. Now let's move ahead. After this, we will be having C++ function overloading. What does overloading means? It means multiple functions can have the same name. That multiple functions can have the same name but different parameters. For example, let's see. बहुत सारे फंक्शंस का नाम सेम हो सकता है लेकिन पैरामीटर अलग. सपोज some function we can have int a comma int b. Then another some function we can have double is also a data type, double a comma double b. And some function of float a comma float b. Okay, so let's see it by example only. Okay, so let me define three functions. Okay, let's remove it. This is int type functions. Let's not pass it by, only pass it by value. So let's define more functions. Okay, now this is float type. It will return float. It will take values as float as well. It will also take values as float only. And the below one will be taking the values as double, double, double. This one will also take values as double, double, double. And this one will also take values as double. Inside it will also be double. This will also be float. Okay, so I have defined three functions with same name but it have different parameters. Like int a and float a are different parameters. Int a and double b a are different parameters. So they have different parameters. Okay, so let's use them. Int x, int y, float u equals to, float means fractional value 0.5, and float v equals to 11.2. Now double e equals to 11.22, and double f equals to 43.21. Okay, so I have defined 6 variables. Let's calculate the sum of all those variables. Now int answer 1. Now one will be returning int type, another will returning this will be answer 2, this will be answer 3, and this is float type to u, v, this is double type e, f, float, okay. So let's do one more thing. Let's write one statement in every function. Cout double double handle means this is calling the double function, and this is calling the float function, and this one is calling the int function. Okay, so let's run. Now see, we pass integer values to it, to a sum function, then it is calling int function. Okay, Then we are passing double values to it. Let's again. Okay, then we are passing the float values to it, so it is calling the float function. We are passing the double values to it, so it is calling the double function. Though compiler internally handle all these things, that if we are passing integer value, then we have to call the sum function, which have the integer types parameter list, and then we have these float values, then float one, and then that one. Okay, so instead of defining two functions that should do the same things, it is better to overload one. Okay, so this is how we overload one. Okay, now in the example I have shown, we overloaded the sum function to work for both for all int, float and double. Okay, so note, multiple functions we have the same name as long as the number and or types of parameters are different. So we can have infinite functions with same name, but their types and parameters should be different. Okay, so this is all about the functions. We will be solving one problem. Let me give you one problem. Define a function that return the product of two numbers entered by user. Define a functions which return the product of two numbers entered by user. So let's define. Okay, so let's define one function. Okay, so let's have one function which tells the product. So let's define two variable, because for product of two numbers we need two variable, x comma y. Let's take it input from user, x, y. Okay, now after taking the inputs from the user x and y, we have to call one function, int answer equals to product of x comma y. Now let's define one function product. So int product of int comma a comma int of b, then return. I can return directly as well, a star b. This do the product of two numbers. First will it perform the star multiplication, and it will return the values. Okay, so let's print it. Cout ans. Okay, let's run. Oh, I did some error. Okay, sorry, I did this. This handle will not be there. Sorry for that. By mistake I typed it. Okay, so we have to first give the input of two values, 2 comma 8. 8 to the 16, right? So see, it printed 16. Now let's again run it. Let me give 10 comma 5. It printed 15. So this is how we solve the problem. Define a function that returns the product of two numbers entered by users. So in next class we'll be seeing some more this, and then we'll be move towards the important topics. This is the basic part. Now we'll be moving towards the important topics. Okay, so thank you for today. Thank you everyone.